Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. A little bit of heartburn. It is what it is. That's not why you called, though. No, I want to talk a little bit more about the Southport cover-up. I also want to discuss my opinions regarding what's happening as far as Ukraine is concerned. There are some people who are saying that Nigel, the phony Farage, is lying about what he knows about Southport. Now, I personally disagree. I think he does know more than he's telling us. It's just, how do I put it? I think it's a matter of, he does respect the law, which obviously we have to, because otherwise we end up in jail. But I think the cold bitter truth is, we need people to be bold about this. And I think Nigel Farage, no pun intended, is being too conservative. And now I'm going to get a phone call from Rishi Sunak saying that's completely fucking wrong and he hasn't joined the Tories. Anyway, I think he's being very conservative. Too conservative, in fact. Oh, sorry, it was supposed to be Kemi down Badnock. But I digress. I think Nigel Farage should just go hell for leather at this point. I think at this point, we are past the stage of being peaceful, of being within reason, quite frankly. And as I've always said, and I'll be absolutely clear, I don't condone any law breaking. I don't condone any violent revolution. However, the cold bitter truth is, I think we're past the stage of peaceful talks with Keir the traitor Starmer. There is absolutely no question in my mind that Keir the traitor Starmer's career will go up in flames the moment all the information is leaked about the Southport cover-ups. I'd say second to the grooming gang crimes, this is probably the biggest cover-up in British history. I think Keir the traitor Starmer has dug himself into a hole that he can't get himself out of. I think stroke number one. I think he's dug so deep that he basically has no chance of getting out. Not even if you have one of those fucking helicopter-like ladders drop down into the floor. He ain't getting out of this one. And the moment this information is leaked out into the open and the public knows about it, his career's done. It'll be over. Just like that. I mean, Keir the traitor Starmer's credibility is already at an all-time low. And he is as welcome in Parliament as a paedophile is into a nursery. Normally, I'd say something along the lines of, anybody with the slightest bit of decency will do this, that, and the other. But in Keir the traitor Starmer's case, he has so much indecency, he should really be arrested for indecent exposure, or indecently exposing himself to every fucking politician and the public. It disgusts me when you think about the fact that people who post Facebook messages, there's another political prisoner now. There was a war veteran who I believe suffers from PTSD, who put a Facebook post out. I believe he's sentenced now to 2 years in prison. Meanwhile, we have paedophiles like Hugh Degenerate Edwards who are getting suspended sentences and will probably never see jail. We have immigrants murdering our kids and repeatedly raping our women. What happens to them? Community service at best. No charges at worst. But of course the mainstream media won't tell you this. You know the drill, folks, because say it with me, it doesn't suit the narrative. And I will stress this again, I am not condoning violence. However, if anybody was given 30 seconds with Keir the traitor Starmer, Keir the traitor Starmer would be coming out of that room in a new bit of black and blue. I can't really think of many people on the realm of common sense who would let this traitor get away with his crimes for even a fraction of a second. A man who now, alongside Joe the old biddy Biden and NATO, they have sanctioned the use of long-range missiles against Russia. I think they're going the wrong way about this. I think they need to send a few more prostitutes. Check out the ballistics on them. Anyway, the fact is, they're going out of their way to attack Russia now with long-range missiles. And all this before Donald Trump takes to the Oval Office in January. Now, isn't that a coincidence? It seems like the Biden administration wants to basically start World War III before Donald Trump gets into power. Even if, and let's play devil's advocate here for one moment, more like a minute. Let's say everything that they've been saying that's negative about Trump is true. Let's say, for the sakes of argument, he has been committing acts of debauchery and what have you, maybe tax fraud and what have you. Let's say all that's true, just for the sakes of this. Do you think that really compares to starting a world war? And I don't think you even need to have more than a 2-digit IQ to know where that answer's going. Even if you could categorically say everything that Donald Trump has done as far as crimes is concerned is 100% true, you are never going to top starting a world war. Not even Keir the traitor Starmer can top that one. It seems rather disturbing, doesn't it, folks? How Joe the old biddy Biden, Kamala Fakers Hollywood Teeth Harris, George W. war criminal Bush, how these motherfuckers have all been advocating for war, basically. They've been doing everything they can to go to war with Russia, while Donald Trump has been trying to avoid that shit. The bottom line in all this is that no matter what Trump has done, I guarantee you that Joe the biddy Biden has done tenfold, if not more, worse. All this to appease Zelensky, a man who is basically like a champagne socialist wanker, but in Ukraine. Now, somebody get that guy 2 pints of vodka and a packet of crisps. Anyway, the point is, Zelensky is one of the rich people who basically leads from the basement. Happy to give the orders, happy to send people to their deaths, but I guarantee you, if he was to step on a battlefield, he would turn tail and run, just like that. I guess, in that sense, he has a lot in common with Keir the traitor Starmer. I wonder what the leftoids are going to say about the fact that your side is going out advocating for war, while Trump is at least trying to put an end to this shit. He knows that illegal immigration is significantly hindering America, just as it's hindering us here in the UK, especially Islamic immigration, because we all know the Mohammedans that cross over to whatever Western country they come to, they've come from their third world shitholes to turn our countries into third world shitholes. I wouldn't be surprised if, let's say, they captured the USA, they decide to rename it the United States of Pakistan. Just like I suspect they would now name our country Great Britannistan. These champagne socialist sipping, toffee-nosed wankers have no idea what it is to work a hard day's graft in their lives. Keir the traitor Starmer would be lucky to see a day of hard graft in his life, since he was apparently, this is starting to circle around the internet, apparently he was a lawyer for the father of the Southport murderer. You know, Axel Radukabana, who I know people are going to want to say allegedly. I'm not, because the evidence is clear as crystal. If he was there with a knife, he stabbed 3 kids and wounded more, I'm sorry, and then on top of all that, they found ricin in his home, I'm sorry, but that sounds like the cunt is guilty to rights. Although dead to rights is the right saying, but you get what I mean. But Keir the traitor Starmer would rather focus on this mythical far right. He would rather focus on locking up people for mean tweets on the internet, or Facebook posts, or merely covering the aftermath of riots. Well, it won't be long before the British people really do revolt. And as I've said, I don't advocate for a violent revolution. As I've said, though, anything that happens to Keir the traitor Starmer, the establishment, the mainstream media, the judiciary, the police, anything that happens to them, they only have themselves to blame. There will be none of this, oh, this is all the far right's fault, or this is the conservatives' fault. He won't be able to use those scapegoats for this one. Keir the traitor Starmer is on a downward decline. In fact, it's not even a downward decline. He's dropped off a fucking cliff, quite frankly. He is going to end up cooked. 200 degrees, 15 minutes, deep. There is no way he's coming back from this. But what I find particularly funny is today, I believe I saw a tweet, which I've actually responded to, where he basically was saying, oh, he's deported 10,000 illegals. Yeah, but where did you deport them to? Number one. Number two, where does this figure come from? Because it sounds to me you're just plucking figures out of your arse. I wonder why these fingers aren't brown. I think at this point, there are shill organisations that are literally doing everything they can to protect Keir the traitor Starmer, but nothing is going to protect Keir the traitor Starmer from the wrath of the British people. He had the audacity to take money from the elderly's pensions. He had the audacity to take away their winter fuel payment. He had the audacity to lock up political prisoners for going against the mainstream narrative. And he had the audacity to try and sit here and say, we're tackling the gangs, which is a complete crock of shit. Keir the traitor Starmer couldn't tackle the fucking trafficking gangs if they put him in a full rugby set and gave him a set of steroids. I've even seen the way he throws a punch on a punching bag, and even I could fucking hit harder than that without a boxing glove. The man tries so hard to be a man of the working class, but as we all know, he is just an idiot and a political farce. And even Jeremy Clarkson's getting involved. He has basically declared war on Keir the traitor Starmer, and quite rightly too. Jeremy Clarkson, you could see him as a controversial figure, saying a few racist things and what have you. I accept that. However, he has earned a lot of people's respect by actually doing what some of these farmers stroke number two, have actually done. Jeremy Clarkson has earned my respect and a substantial number of other people's respect, and the farmers, for the simple fact he's actually done what they've done. He can appreciate what's being done to the farmers, and he understands that to get rid of trees, for example, to make way for a cycle lane is complete nonsense, and they can fuck off, using his words. Jeremy Clarkson could well be the Trump that we need, quite frankly. Think about it. He's galvanised a lot of people. He has gained a lot of admiration. Okay, it's not Tommy stroke number three. It's not Tommy Robinson levels of galvanisation, but he has galvanised a lot of people nonetheless. And it would be foolhardy at best to say that Jeremy Clarkson doesn't have the people on his side. In fact, I would go as far as saying I think a lot of people would look up to him if something bad were to happen to Tommy Robinson. Okay, as I said, Tommy Robinson has been through a lot more shit than Jeremy Clarkson. He has been through hell as far as political persecution is concerned, whereas Clarkson hasn't. But bear in mind, Clarkson is now pretty much the icon of the farmers, bare minimum. He is an iconic figure. And I suspect Keir the traitor Starmer will do everything he can to try and silence him, just like they're trying to silence Farage. Well, in the end, you reap what you sow. And the British seeds he's planted, this Keir the traitor Starmer, will sow the seeds of his Parliament's destruction.